Hello and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms, the podcast that provides you with all the latest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are looking to substantially increase your caseload in the next 6 months, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy. Welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, everyone. I hope you guys are having a rocking week thus far. Today, I got a special episode for you. Today, I'm going to introduce you to someone who does the same thing I do, but a little different. Just as I said in the pre-intro, slightly different because he's got a interesting niche market that I think you guys are going to love, especially all your attorneys out there who listen to me on a regular basis. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the great Hugo Gomez. Hugo, how you doing, man?
Doing well, Frank. Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. Hey, I said a few things about you already in the pre-intro, but in your own words, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, so my name is Hugo E. Gomez. I'm the founder of Abogados NOW, and we help attorneys market their practice in Spanish.
That's a great market because, in the U.S., that's a very growing population is the Latin market, and I as you know, we market for a lot of attorneys. And sometimes, they'll turn away people because, hey, do you know anyone do you have an attorney that speaks Spanish? And a lot of times they say no. So that's a good niche. And as a matter of fact, let me ask you something. Why that niche? Like, why did you pick it?
Well, I'd always been working in lead generation, previously in the financial verticals, the commercial and consumer finance. And when I got into legal a few years ago, I saw how hungry attorneys were for a competitive advantage. Mm-hmm. So I noticed that, generally speaking, online, Spanish traffic was generally cheaper, more cost effective than English traffic. So, when we started introducing this idea to attorneys, hey, would you like to scale through these untapped markets? Attorneys really responded to that. So we just built this whole company called Abogados NOW that directly addresses largely untapped markets like the Hispanic market across the country and connecting attorneys to them through digital marketing, namely mobile, because Hispanic consumers are more likely to choose an attorney on their mobile phone than anyone else in the country.
Is that right? I did not know.
Yeah. Hispanics over-index on mobile usage. The Pew Research Center has studied this. I think they're coming out with another study on this year. But mobile adoption is really unique in Hispanic markets. We believe is that, generally speaking, the mobile device is pretty democratizing. It doesn't really care about what socioeconomic status you have, what documentation status you have. If you come into the country, you have a phone. You may not have a desktop or an office job, but you definitely have a phone. So that's the market that we've doubled down on.
Interesting. Now, tell me a little bit about your services. So I'm an attorney, and I get one of those phone calls that a lot of my clients get. Hey, do you have anyone in your office that speaks Spanish? How does your service address that?
Yeah, so generally speaking, an attorney who doesn't speak Spanish will come to us and say, Hugo, I need to grow my firm. I need 10, 20, 30 more cases per month. And I know that if you advertise for us in Spanish, you can get us those extra clients because we don't know how to advertise in Spanish. So what we'll do is we'll build them a Spanish website. We'll build them Spanish videos, essentially a whole Spanish online business. We run their ad spend in Spanish to the Spanish online business. And when they generate calls, the calls have to go to someone who speaks Spanish in intake.
Correct.
So that's a qualification for being in our program. You either need to have someone in your office that speaks Spanish, or you have like a third-party intake center, like a call center, or you can opt into one of our answering agents. They're called virtual professionals who can answer your calls in Spanish. So if you're an attorney and you know that this is a market that you want to tap into, we'll find a way to make sure that the calls are answered in Spanish the right way. And then in terms of like managing the client, we've seen that all sorts of different ways. Some attorneys have fully bilingual staff. Some attorneys are bilingual themselves. What we find is that even if you have a bilingual staff and you generate a Spanish-speaking client, generally speaking, someone who only speaks Spanish will bring someone with them who speaks English to a meeting, a consult. So there's always a way to tap into this market. The most important part is the intake side.
So, all right. So let's talk about that. So, again, we have a client. You advertise for them in Spanish.
Yeah.
Let's go through the process. They get a lead.
Yeah.
You have a solution for, let's say they don't have anyone who speaks Spanish, but you have a solution for them for the intake to take forth in Spanish, right?
Yeah. If they have no other options, our bilingual virtual professionals are billed by the hour to answer calls for the firm.
Interesting. And then is any particular practice area that you focus on? Is it estate planning? Is it personal injury, or is it all across the board?
Across the board, we're seeing trends. So the U.S. Census said that 1 in 5 persons are Hispanic in the United States at this point, which is, it's not a niche market anymore. It's a huge market. Yes, so this market is facing the same things the general market's facing. They get into car accidents. They have divorces. They need family visas. They have estate planning. We're seeing an estate planning boom right now because there's many second, third generation Hispanics that have or had businesses and have more assets now versus that of 20, 30 years ago. So just by and large, the population growth and the continued growth is essentially the reason that we're seeing so much demand from the consumer, the Hispanic consumer, for legal services. Okay.
So as you know, this is a marketing show. How you mentioned some lead gen stuff. Like what are the platforms you generate the leads for these attorneys?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hey, attorney, are you running a lot of digital ads or maybe even SEO, Facebook ads, etc., and you're not getting the results that you're hoping for? Have you been trying to generate leads online, and although you are getting some results, you're thinking, man, something's got to be wrong because I should be getting a lot more attention? Well, if that's you, I want to help you out. Give us a call, 888-416-7752. I'd love to sit down, find out a little bit more about your business, and see if we can help you. Now, even before you do that and before we sit down and talk, I'd love for you to go to our website, lbmsllc.com. Once you type that, you're going to see on the top right-hand corner of the page a little green button that says Free Online Report. I want you to click on that button, fill out the form, and you will be emailed within 24 hours a free online report as to see exactly what's going on in your business, how are you showing up online, and that's the first step to be able to decipher exactly what's going on in your business. So if you would love a free analysis and to help us to get you to the next level, take that action right now. Download the free online report, and that will be the first step. Then give us a call at 888-416-7752, and we will schedule some time together. So with that, I'm going to bring you right back to the show.
So generally speaking, up to about 100,000 in monthly spend, you can do a lot with Google search, Maps listings, Facebook video ads, YouTube video ads, Instagram video ads, Reels, story ads, and emergingly, rather emerging is Hulu, Hulu in Spanish.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's more like OTT.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and then once we get past 100K, that's typically the threshold. After 100K monthly ad spend,
Mm-hmm.
you got to get into programmatic, remarketing through text, email automations. We're now doing a lot of WhatsApp outreach because the Hispanic market is really huge on WhatsApp. And so, generally speaking, the big three remain true under 100K in monthly spend. It's Google, Facebook, Instagram. Those are great channels for lead gen still, especially in Spanish.
Oh yeah. I agree. Interesting. Yeah, WhatsApp. You mentioned WhatsApp. I mean, I speak to my family all the time in the DR through WhatsApp. That's how we speak. That's an awesome app. Cool. Now, tell us a little bit more about your firm. Like, how long you guys been in business? Like, what was the aha moment? I know you told me, because of the growing population of the Hispanic market, but what was the aha moment that you took when you said, this is how we're going to do this?
Yeah, so we've been around for 5 years, a little over 5 years, so 5.5 years or so. And prior to starting Abogados Now, I was working at a third-party lead generation company that specialized in just selling leads, Spanish leads, namely, to attorneys. And I had a lot of conversations with several attorneys that bought leads from this company. And they all said, hey, we love buying leads from this company, but we want to do this ourselves too. How do we do it? And those conversations kept happening. And I said, well, no one's doing this online. I looked everywhere. I'm like, who is satisfying Hispanic digital marketing for attorneys? And there was like nobody. So I said, well, I don't even need to create the demand. The demand's there.
It's already there. Yeah.
It's already there. So let's take the ball and run with it. And, did that for a few months on an experiment. And it was, I hate to say it, but it was kind of easy to describe the value because attorneys saw the value of that competitive edge. So I think the attorneys that are more business savvy, marketing savvy, they're the ones that saw the real value in owning part of that market share. So that was really the big aha moment. It was those conversations that pretty much said someone needs to build this company sooner than later.
Right. Awesome. About how many clients do you have right now?
So we've had over 220 members in our program. We're nationwide. Still focused on growth. And we have a growing sales team that is especially reaching out to solo practitioners with new programs. Our programs were generally built for medium-sized law firms. And that was, candidly a result of pricing. We're not cheap. And we believe that there's a premium and there's an inherent value in what we do. That's different in the market. However, we do believe that solos deserve a shot to grow in our program as well. So right now we're really focused on growth with solo practitioners.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So you're going down to, so you're doing it piecemeal, right? You were probably doing with some other niche. Now you're going out the solo practitioner. So you're doing it as a strategic way. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think so. I like to have conversations with. I'm still doing sales. 5 years later, I love talking to attorneys that are super growth focused, but there are many attorneys that aren't very growth focused. They're just trying to build a stable business, or they're just trying to find a way to reduce their expenses overall. So we have other sales representatives that know how to have those conversations, that have worked with solo practitioners in the past. And so we feel equipped now to virtually help any attorney at any stage of their career or any size of their firm with whatever growth goals they have.
Got it. Yeah, that's good. So you sit down with them, you set them up for success, and you also have a kind of like a coaching program. if you will.
Pretty much. Yeah, it's funny because, like, you know, we our sales team largely doesn't talk about marketing. I think most attorneys don't really care about the marketing.
They
I think
don't. They care about cases. That's
yeah,
what they care about.
yeah, they care about like the business outcome, right? Like,
Yeah,
you know, and I think we're sensitive to that too. We're also focused on what is the business outcome from all of our marketing, like talking to you, like talking to other podcasts, like advertising on Google, on newsletters, etc. And I think having just honest conversations about revenue, real expectations, what are your pain points, what are your insecurities, what are you trying to do in your career? I think those conversations are more productive for the marketing rather than just talking about the benefit of marketing.
Yeah. Um, what are the biggest, speaking of marketing, what are the biggest mistakes that you're seeing attorneys do when they're marketing their firm?
How much time do you have?
That's why I asked the question. So
We might need like to make a series out of that one.
Part 2, part 3, part 4.
Seriously. I mean, I think there's some fundamental ones that even today we're still seeing en masse. It's quite wild. The first one, and this is regardless of language, it's not having a website. I feel like that's the biggest one. This is just crazy to me to not have a website. Like, we're still having conversations with attorneys about why it's important to be visible online. And this is not an age thing. This is not like it's like you see it everywhere. So I think that's the biggest one. But secondly, it's not advertising for mobile devices. I think making a whole experience for the consumer on their phone should be the number one thing that any attorney thinks about, regardless of language.
Yeah.
And then
that's true.
On the Spanish side, the biggest mistake is using Google Translate or some kind of automated translation feature.
Yeah.
Those are so bad. They're not good.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, from English to Spanish, translation is it's not.
It's not cultural. It's too literal. Like we saw one example the other day where it said, I won't say the guy's name. Let me see if I can switch it. It said attorney William Bell, right? It was attorney William Bell. It was all over his English website. When you clicked Google Translate, it said Abogado William Campana.
Yeah.
Campana being the direct translation.
The bell.
Bell. And we told this person, you know, like, hey, do you know that your last name's being changed to the literal version of that word? And had no idea. And he was getting pretty decent free traffic from SEO. So this guy was probably churning away a ton of people just by bad translations from potential Spanish speaking clients. I think those three are like the most common and highest impact mistakes and issues that attorneys are making with their marketing right now.
Yeah. And you know, like one of the things that I run into all the time is attorneys who don't even want to market because they have a lot of referrals. They have their referral network. I run into that a lot, and it's like, but then they want to market because they see maybe a dip or a slowdown or whatever. So
that's a wild one, right? It's like I don't need a market. I have my referrals.
Right.
I always ask, for how long?
Yeah.
You know, because at some point, the competitors eating up the rest of the market share, they're the ones that are guaranteed to have referrals by nature of their marketing. And it's like, if you're not marketing, you're pretty much you have a shelf life, and it's a tough conversation to have because you don't want to, attorneys who have referrals have these great histories, and they should be proud of having that consistent stream of referrals, but that's not guaranteed, nor is anything forever. I'm not a big belief that just because you have something, it's guaranteed to be there.
Exactly. Exactly.
I just always, I mean, even with us, we always assume, even with our best performing attorneys in our programs, we
Hmm.
always assume their best performing channel is going to change, and we have to prepare for that a year in
Exactly.
advance.
Exactly. Out of curiosity, do you have any competitors?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we have some like indirect competitors now.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know of any that are putting the flag up and saying we are the Spanish
Yeah.
authority for attorney. I don't know anyone that's doing that.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'm just missing the ball on that, or I don't know. I just don't
It
see.
doesn't. It doesn't matter. I mean, I think even if you had 10, it doesn't really matter because I think there's enough to go around for everyone. But
Totally.
yeah, but I was just kind of curious because I other than your ads that I see on Facebook all the time, uh, I I have never seen that. That's that's why I wanted to ask that question.
Yeah, I mean, we welcome it. We would love to talk shop with other people doing this with us, but we find that
Mm-hmm.
it's just like we're kind of on an island right now. And that's cool for market share, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, I find that the practitioners that work with attorneys in Spanish are also doing a bunch of other verticals. Like they're also
Right.
doing medical and solar, and uh,
Okay.
it's like multidisciplinary.
Now, do you provide solely digital marketing solutions, or is it a whole, package that you provide outside of digital as well?
All digital. That's intentional
Of
because
course.
digital is like instant.
It's
You
where
know,
it's at. It's where it's
where it's
at.
at. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and we do believe that there's value in TV, radio, print. However, most attorneys don't have the appetite to wait.
No. No.
Those are 12 to 36-month forecasts. And I think most attorneys just don't have the stomach for it. So we could do it. We would love to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But we just find that right now, the attorneys want results fairly soon, like soon meaning within a quarter. You
All
know,
the time.
and so yeah, we love the traditional marketing space, but we're seeing less attorneys interested in that.
Yeah, yeah. I think only the big boys, like you go to Morgan and Morgan, they do
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, for sure.
People like them, yeah, they'll do it. But the like me personally, I only deal with local attorneys, like personal injury, family law, estate planning, those type of whoever have a local jurisdiction to them.
Yeah,
That's they're not doing what the traditional
yeah,
they don't want that. Like you said, tops 90 days. I better see something.
yeah.
You know.
I think it's fair. I think 90 days is like, I think that's a fair shot, right?
Yeah,
90
it's a fair shot. If I can't give you something in 90 days, I'm not worth your time anyway. But and mostly, thankfully, usually by the 30th day they see stuff
totally.
with me. So I don't
Yeah,
have a problem
same.
with
It's
that. Yeah,
like calls. It's usually,
yeah,
hey, I'm getting
calls.
calls and people are interested in what we do,
Yep.
and I haven't spent a fortune. Let's keep going.
And sometimes that's satisfaction. That's
Yeah.
satisfaction. Okay, let's keep doing it. Yeah, yeah, I love it.
Yes.
So what's next for you guys, man? What's on the horizon? What does 2024 look like? What do what you got cooking?
Yeah. More states.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big one. More solos. And I think we'll be more visible at physical events. The reality is that we've been heads down. We've just been focused on
Mm-hmm.
growing
Mm-hmm.
a sales team, on rebuilding our lead generation programs, also focusing on better member experience. So we've just been kind of heads down, focusing on
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. Yeah, I think next year we'll be a little more visible in person, and we'll be in a lot more states. So right now it's just growth. Hopefully we'll be at another 30% of members by the end of next year.
What states are you in now?
Yeah, so California, Arizona, and let's put it this way: anything coastal is pretty much very popular right now, and we're slowly making a dent in the Midwest. And Pacific Northwest is growing. So it's virtually all markets are facing some degree of growth with the company as a result of the Hispanic population rising in those markets. So we focus our growth on population density of Hispanic consumers.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, so are you in New York?
I'm in LA.
I know. I'm saying, are you in New York right now? Like, are you?
Oh yeah, yes, we are actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so Jersey, New York are really interesting markets.
Yes.
Yeah, it's super diverse. So there isn't like one type of Hispanic, right?
Oh no.
So that's a challenging market, but if done right, it's super fruitful for an attorney.
Yeah. It's it's a lot of me here in New Jersey, New York.
Yeah, for sure. Well, me too. I'm Ecuadorian. I was born.
It's a lot. There's a lot of Ecuadorians. My girlfriend's best friend is Ecuadorian. We hang out all the time. We know a lot about Quito and I forgot the other town.
Guayaquil.
La Costa, Guayaquil.
La Costa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was born in Guayaquil, so know a lot about Ecuador.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I get it all from my girlfriend's best friend. So she keeps inviting us over there. We got to make it out there one of these days. Anyway, good. I digress. So yeah, this has been great, man. I love talking to other marketers because you're saying the same things that I always tell my attorneys on this show and when I'm out and about, about being aggressive on marketing and all that stuff. And you have such a unique market that I wanted to bring you on this show. So I'm really glad that you came. Is there anything that I did not ask you that you think will benefit the audience?
No, I think you hit all the points. If anything is to be outstanding, it's the fact that we work well with companies like yours. Attorneys don't need to make a choice between English and Spanish. They can have both. So oftentimes we work with in-house English marketing teams or English marketing agencies like yours or Scorpion or Fine Law. We're oftentimes the Spanish Fine Law option for these attorneys. So like our job and our goal is to get attorneys more business above and beyond what they're doing. So we're just like attached to the business. So we could work in any structure, and we're happy to. Like we've done it so many times that I find that working with other companies like yours is like super collaborative. Oh yeah, and everybody wins. So 100%. So those are my final words with what's about.
Well, not yet, because I want you to also tell the population what is the website that people can go check out your services.
Sure. It's abogadosnow.com, abogadosnow.com. We actually just launched a new website a few days ago. We're really proud of how super fast it is, how mobile friendly it is. And you can make an appointment with one of our business development representatives. There's a calendar there. It may line up an appointment with myself or with one of our other team members, and we'll ask you a bunch of questions about your business. That's really what we want to focus on. It's what value are you looking for in a marketing partner for your business? And then we'll build you a program that satisfies that goal, whether it's quarterly or annual or multi-year. We'll build you that plan based on your goals.
Awesome sauce. And I will put a link to his website on the show notes, folks. So look out for that. I will also, because I'm connected with you on LinkedIn, Hugo, I'm also put your LinkedIn information so people could check you out even before they check out the website and know a little bit about you. So hopefully, as a result of this, you get some phone calls.
Awesome, Frank. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll do the same. We'll share links, all the good stuff.
Yeah, so that's what it's all about. So anyway, guys, this has been a great episode. Thanks for coming, Hugo, once again. This has been Frank Fleming, the local business guy, and you've just been blessed by Hugo Gomez. Take care, everyone. Until next week.
for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Law Firms, the podcast that provides you with all the latest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you would like to know more about the topic we discussed on the show today, reach out to Frank and his team at 888-416-7752 and schedule a discovery call with one of the marketing consultants. If you'd like to be a guest on our show, send an email to podcast@lbmsllc.com and we will put you on the schedule. With that being said, until next week, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.